Umiinit ang mga usapin sa Malacanang matapos pumutok ang balita na si Pangulong Kuting Jr. ay binigyan umano ng taning sa gitna ng mga kontrobersya. Kasabay ito, lumabas na tila nagbabago na rin ang paninindigan ni House Speaker Martin Tambaloslos at unang ginang Liza Talasmang sa mga isyong bumabalot sa administrasyon. Samantala, si Vice Presidente Inday Sara Duterte ay nananatili umanong nagmamasid sa kaganapan sa palasyo. Ayon sa mga ulat, ang taning kay Kuting Jr. ay may kinalaman sa patuloy na pagbaba ng kumpiyansa sa kanyang pamumuno, partikular na mula sa ilang malalapit niyang kaalyado. Lumabas na ang mga posisyon ni Tambaloslos at Liza Talasmang ay tila nagiging mas maingat at nag-aatubili na suportahan ang Pangulo sa harap ng lumalalang kritisismo mula sa publiko. Sa kabilang banda, si VP Sara ay sinasabing tahimik ngunit maingat na nagmamasid at nag-aabang ng susunod na hakbang ng Pangulo at ng kanyang mga taga-suporta. Habang patuloy na nababalot ng intriga ang administrasyon, nananatiling alerto ang taong bayan sa bawat galaw ng palasyo. Maraming nag-aabang kung paano harapin ni Kuting Jr. ang mga hamong ito at kung totoo bang ang may alitan sa pagitan niya at ng kanyang mga kaalyado. Ang katanungan ngayon ng sambayanan, mananatili bang buo ang liderato ng Pangulo o ito ba ay ang simula ng mga mas malaki pang pagbabago sa politika ng bansa? At yan nga ang balitang ating pagkakatutukan. Ngunit bago ang lahat, siguraduhin mag-subscribe at ihit ang notification bell para sa patuloy na pagtutok sa mga silap ng bagong balita sa tunay na boses ng masa.
Isang dosena na sila na nag-handle. Kailangan ba na andudun din yung isang dosena or marami pang PAW lawyers? Kasi ang dami po kasi nangangailangan ng tulong ng ating PAW lawyers. And if it's a hearing being handled by the judge, na hindi naman sila nakakapasok doon sa kwarto at nasa labas at sobrang maingay, nahihirapan po yung korte na magkaroon ng discussion. And this is something na okay naman sana, pero hindi ba una-una sa labas ang ingay, hindi marinig sa loob. Pangalawa, andun na yung prosecutors, kailangan ba andun din yung PAW? Paano naman yung maraming nangangailangan ng tulong na kailangan mabigyan nila ng atensyon? Secretary Remulla, is it true that the Public Attorney's Office also filed cases against DOH officials involved in COVID vaccination during the time of President Duterte? However, I would like to point some of the injustices being done to our doctors, to our scientists, and to the real experts who have served the government. May I inquire, if cases are already filed, let's say nag-file po yung PAW, and ngayon ang nagre-representa are the prosecutors, is it fair to say that during hearings or trials or whatever processes you call that, there will be like at least a dozen PAW lawyers in the vicinity na andun na naman yung prosecutor? Sayang kasi yung pera ng bayan. May I inquire if this is in order, Mr. Chair?
I think that this is better answered by our Chief PAW Officer who's here right now.
With the permission of the Honorable Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
And our Honorable Secretary of Justice. The PAW lawyers are assigned to the victims who filed criminal charges before the DOJ, and they were requested by the victims, the families, to be present so that they could be well represented. Even in other criminal cases, there are private prosecutors aside from the state and public prosecutors. It is allowed by the court. Unless the court, Your Honor...
Sorry po, if I may, para lang po mag-clarify, ma'am. Okay.
Opo.
Yung tanong ko po kasi, kung may kaso at andun na yung mga prosecutors, isang dosena na sila na nag-handle, kailangan ba na andun din yung isang dosena or marami pang PAW lawyers? Kasi ang dami po kasi nangangailangan ng tulong ng ating PAW lawyers. And if it's a hearing being handled by the judge, na hindi naman sila nakakapasok doon sa kwarto at nasa labas at sobrang maingay, nahihirapan po yung korte na magkaroon ng discussion. And this is something na okay naman sana, pero hindi ba una-una sa labas ang ingay, hindi marinig sa loob? Pangalawa, andun na yung prosecutors, kailangan ba andun din yung PAW? Paano naman yung maraming nangangailangan ng tulong na kailangan mabigyan nila ng atensyon.
Yes, ma'am. Apat lang po ang nandun. Only 4. Ang kaso po doon ay 8. 4 lamang po ang Pau lawyer na nandun. Baka po yung maingay yung mga spectators o yung mga kamag-anak ng mga namatay. At our lawyers have designated resident court assignment. 1 court, 1 Pau lawyer. Hindi po kami nakapag-deploy ng marami sa mga kaso.
Mr. Chair,
Pasensya na po, ma'am. Ako nga po dapat nandun, hindi po ako pupunta eh.
Yeah, let me proceed to my next question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, proceed, ma'am.
Okay. Secretary Remulla, is it true that the Public Attorney's Office also filed cases against DOH officials involved in COVID vaccination during the time of President Duterte?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I was told that this happened.
So ibig po sabihin, patuloy pong hinahabol ng Public Attorney's Office yung ating mga scientists, yung ating mga totoong eksperto, yung ating mga vaccinologists na konting-konti na lang po kami. Because if that is true, Secretary, do you think that is justice or injustice to our experts, scientists, doctors, health workers, and government employees?
Madam Chair, the primary duty of the PAO is actually to defend the poor in criminal cases. However, people who are not represented also have the right to counsel. That's why the PAO attends to different needs of Filipinos, for that matter. But as a matter of policy, of course, we do not want a government office fighting another government office, or at least the clear policy is really for them to defend. The other functions that they're attending to are more out of liberality, Madam Chair, out of liberality of the Department of Justice, because of this, of course, the right to counsel of every Filipino, whether this is for prosecution or for defense.
So, Mr. Chair, Honorable Secretary, cases against our doctors who implemented the COVID vaccination was also filed.
Well, that is one of the actual. It's part of the evolution of the job of the Public Attorney's Office. Actually, when we first had the Civil Liberties Office, Civil Liberties Office, at the time, the lawyers representing the destitute and the poor, most of them were just really to defend. But now, it has already come to the point where many of our countrymen go to the Public Attorney's Office for all kinds of counsel. And sometimes they're
Mr. Chair,
constrained.
I fully appreciate that. But these are actually cases being built up because of vaccination. And so if that is the case, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, maybe DOJ can instead recommend to the Department of Health and to the national government to stop all vaccination programs. Kasi ang nangyayari po kasi, pag ginagawa po ng ating mga doktor at ng ating mga totoong eksperto, yung kanilang trabaho, inuulan po sila ng mga kaso at wala naman silang pera na ipagtanggol yung kanilang sarili at wala rin silang mga pera na post ng bail. So if this is the case, maybe DOJ or PAO can instead, recommend to the government to stop all vaccination programs and allow all epidemics and outbreaks to come out. Kasi napakakonti lang po ng mga eksperto na ito. We can instead recommend them to other countries because our profession is very much in demand in other countries.
Madam Chair, I don't think that the DOJ should step into the shoes of the DOH when it comes to policy. We allowed, of course, we respect the specialization of the DOH in this matter, and we cannot intrude into their territory. The fact that there are Filipinos who wish to sue others is really a very novel idea that came in already just lately. This is not policy of the department. And it is something that may be discussed later on because we are aware that the job of the PAO has to be more defined right now. And it is something that we will consider, Madam Chair, in the future.
Mr. Chair, recently, the House of Representatives passed at the committee level the Physicians Act. And this is actually intended to police doctors similar to the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, because that is our problem. Many of the doctors would go out in media claiming to be experts. But in our code of ethics and before the Hippocratic Oath, that is not allowed. It's very unethical. We cannot advertise our expertise. And doctors are always coming out in social media are actually those that do not have patience. With this, my question is, what's the stand of the Department of Justice? Because what is happening is contradictory to science and public health. Who has the expertise when it comes to forensic medicine and forensic pathology? Is it the PNP PNP Crime Laboratory and the NBI, or is PAO now the new expert in terms of forensic pathology? Because we as doctors recognize the profession of pathologists, and we know that people who are under the public attorney's office are not pathologists, and the autopsies being conducted in public. My God, Mr. Secretary, Honorable Secretary, this is a very big public health chaos because you're actually exhuming unsanitized without good practices. So my question again is, sino po ba ang ating mga eksperto? Ang PNP Crime Lab at ang NBI Forensic Pathology Office, or yung ating public attorney's office? Because I can also cite many cases that this has created confusion, and the accused are left to go away to be the victims are given another injustice because of this confusion.
Madam Chair, the Department of Justice has recognized that there is a problem right now in the country about forensic pathology. And in this light, we have asked the United Nations through the joint program to help us train the forensic pathologists of this country. And we just had a training program done in July, last month, no? 2 months ago. We had this program happen where the UN Special Rapporteur, Maurice Tidball-Bins, a very renowned doctor throughout the world, conducted the said forensic pathology training. In the country right now, there are only 2 recognized or actually lettered forensic pathologists, if we are to be very strict about this matter. These are Dr. Raquel Fortun and her former assistant in the PGH, whose name skips me now. That's why, anyway, the name skips me now. But it is something that is a problem right now to the country, where we have to train our people again in forensic pathology. And right now, when we present witnesses as prosecutors, we have to qualify the witnesses. And the only thing that's happening right now is that the courts have become more lenient in allowing the other doctors of the services, like the PNP and the NBI, to come in as their jobs describe them to be, as part of the forensic team of the government. But otherwise, if the qualification for a forensic pathologist is to be asked, well, we only have 2 qualified forensic pathologists in the country.
And this training is being conducted for the NBI and the PNP?
Yes, the NBI and the PNP, Madam Chair.
So the alleged PAO expert on forensic pathology is not part of it?
He was not invited into the first training that we conducted, and we will see, Madam Chair, about this complaint. We will look into it.
Please wind
Thank
up.
you. Yes, Mr. Chair. Last question, please. Ako po ay naging kalihim ng kalusugan. And I have very much respect to our doctors, our scientists, lalo na yung mga pinauwi natin na ayaw-ayaw naman sanang umuwi kasi ang ganda ng kanilang profession abroad. Recently, I believe the Prosecutor General's Office has been filing. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the Prosecutor General's Office filing. These are cases from PAO. At paulit-ulit ko yung copy and paste cases related to Deng Vaxia na paulit-ulit na sinasabing may namatay pero sinasabi naman ng buong mundong walang namatay. And mind you, Mr. Secretary, in the whole world, more than 21 countries are continuously using the vaccine, increasing. Sa Pilipinas lang nagkaroon ng confusion. And mind you, the other agencies, let's say World Bank and UN agencies whose employees and families are coming to the Philippines are actually being mandated vaccination on dengue. My question is, andyan dyan yung kaso, nadi-dismiss, file ulit, file ng file, may hinihiring, naguguluhan kasi hindi makita ng DOJ before kung sino yung who has the authority to handle this? Is it not, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Secretary, that this is already an injustice to our scientists and our experts? They are being forced to shell out millions for their bail. Eh yung dalawa dun, mamamatay na nga kasi terminal na yung cancer ng isa. Yung isa nagkakaroon ng thyroid storm. Why don't we allow them to die in peace?
Okay.
Madam Chair, can I ask the Prosecutor General to answer this question?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. The matter as of this time is that the reason for the refilings is that the Supreme Court issued an order, I would say around 2-3 months ago, saying that the venue for the cases is now the Regional Trial Court in Quezon City. So meaning the previous cases before that were filed with the MTC, we have to refile it with the RTC. So that's what we have done, Your Honor.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, with the indulgence, just last one quick because in rebuttal. And Mr. Chair, actually, Secretary...
Okay, last question, please.
Yes. The other expert is Dr. Cecilia Lim. So we only have 2 forensic pathologists in the Philippines. And yung tanong ko po, kasi andyan dyan na, nakikita na walang basihan at paulit-ulit na sinasabing walang namatay at hindi nakakamatay yung bakuna. Is it fair to say that if PAO keeps on filing cases, patuloy nyo lang din na ibibigay at patuloy na kakasuhan? For the record, Honorable Secretary, as I was computing earlier, each doctor, each RITM expert, at kasama na dito yung gumawa ng ating bakuna sa rabies, sa polio, sa measles, because these are the same scientists that were involved at kilala nyo naman yung iba doon. They are somehow forced to prepare 40 million for their bail. Saan naman sila kukuha nun?
Okay. So, Madam Garin, if you take some questions, take that on the second round.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please.
Very gladly.
Secretary.
If I may, please.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I had an earlier question to the Prosecutor General. Is this justice or injustice for scientists or experts who went home to the Philippines, served the government, and now they're being forced to come up with millions and pesos just to be on bail despite the fact na wala ngang matumbok na kaso kasi wala ngang kaso, wala ngang namatay.
The good prosecutor, please answer the question of the good representative Garin.
With due respect, Your Honor, I will answer by way of procedure because the moment there is a complaint filed with the Department of Justice, we are mandated to receive it and run the preliminary investigation. So it is procedural. And in due course, whether we will file the case or not. In this particular case, the next procedure is for the prosecutors to file the case. So, ma'am, procedural po sa amin yan. Then after that, it goes to the court. Again, it's a matter of procedure po.
Yes, thank you
Okay.
very much, Mr. Chair. I'll go on my second round. And just to leave a last statement, I do admire the Department of Justice for coming out with an order that the prosecutor's office should stop filing weak cases.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of
Tama.
problems, we have a lot of Filipinos, ang dami pong nangangailangan ng
Tama.
tulong nyo. Stop, please. Kung sino man yung mga nambababoy sa ating mga scientists at mga eksperto, sana po makonsensya kayo.
Thank you very much.
Yun ang pinakapunto doon mga kaibigan, no? Injustice, no? Yan ang pinakapunto doon. Kasi itong mga prosecutors, sa totoo lang guys, sumusunod lang sila eh. Kung ano yung sinasabi ng boss nila, klarong-klaro naman na sumusunod lang sila. Di ba? Ito namang si Secretary, ang technique naman niya, lalabas ka agad siya sa media. Mag-press con ka agad siya. Like for example, no, ito ha, magandang example to. Yung kaso po ni Bantag, mga kaibigan. Kaya po nalabasan ng probable cause yun eh. Kaya di ba lumabas yung warrant of arrest ni Bantag? Dahil yung mga prosecutor, wala silang sariling desisyon. Kanino sila kumuha ng desisyon? Kay Bonjing. Kasi kung anong sinabi ni Bonjing sa press con, yun din yung guidelines nila. Yun yung sinusundan nila mga kaibigan, kung anong sinabi ni Bonjing. Kasi nga, boss nila eh. Kaya po, ang nangyayari sa kaso ni Bantag mga kaibigan, ayun, kawawa. Lumabas yung probable cause, And eventually, lumabas na rin yung warrant of arrest. Ayun, nagtatago na si Bantag. Dahil nga, sa procedural or sa procedure na ginagamit ng Department of Justice na hindi naman talaga tama. Kung kahit nga tayo, hindi naman tayo mga abogado eh. Pero kung titingnan nyo mabuti guys, mali talaga, meron talagang mali eh. Hindi ko naman sinasabing ano no, ano ba talaga ang mali dyan kasi masyadong technical yan eh no. Sabihin nyo naman, hindi ka naman expert po dinet. O kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo eh. Hanggang doon lang kami sa basic eh, na naiintindihan namin. Kasi kahit kami, hindi kami mga expert, hindi tayo mga abogado, pero kung gagamitan mo lang ng common sense mga kaibigan, makikita mo yung mali. Yes! Prosecutor, mga puppet. Kung nakalaala nyo yung sa Bureau of Immigration, sino nakalaala dun sa Bureau of Immigration? Yung mga Hapon, yung mga Hapon na nakakulong sa BI. Anong ginawa dun sa BI? Binabayaran ang mga prosecutor. Tanggap naman sila. Di ba? Kasi nga sila lang nag-uusap doon eh. Kontrolado nila lahat eh. Kontrolado ang prosecutor, kontrolado ang judge. Yung may hawak pa ng Department of Justice, ganun din. Kaya po ang mga kaso guys, malamang sa malamang, kangaroo court talaga ang nangyayari. Palpak po ang mga kaso.
Magandang balita ang hatid namin sa inyo ngayong araw. Sa pagtatapos ng aming balitaan, nagbigay kami ng mga mahalagang impormasyon. Maraming salamat sa pagtutok at pagsuporta sa aming programa. Huwag kalimutang manatili sa mga susunod na araw para sa mga bagong balita at mga kwento na dapat nating abangan. Mula sa Boses ng Masa, magandang araw Pilipinas!